Warning, the following video has flashing lights and also includes content that may be deemed inappropriate for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. My creatures, you have once again decided you must awaken LordeStarfox to drag me back up to the good old Northeast. My stomping grounds, of course, the 207. I even see you brought me something to indulge myself on. I've been sleeping for so long, and I could use some nutrition. Much needed and absolutely delicious. Now, will you remove these silver chains and shackles so that we can once again make our way into the darkness and the madness known as the Dogman phenomenon? My creatures of the night, yes, welcome back to LordeStarfox Radio, and of course, Midnight Lycanthropy. Once again, it is time to sit around the late night fire and burn the midnight timber into the early hours of the morning. We, of course, will be venturing back up into the 207, my stomping grounds, of course, Maine. We have August 2023, Somerset. A man who owns a remote cabin by the name of John is out fishing near a pond on his property that he really does enjoy. As he's casting away, thinking nothing except what he may be catching, suddenly, on the opposite shore, he sees something that is straight out of this world. Not only does he see a 6 to 8 foot tall, dark black, human-like canine creature walking towards the water, it begins splashing around as if looking for something, whether food, who really knows? Or was it just deciding to troll good old John? John said, as this creature turned and looked directly at him, he could see huge, pointy ears, glowing red eyes, long, human-like arms, raccoon or squirrel-like hands. Wondering what exactly he was staring at, John tried to process the madness that was ensuing in front of his eyes. After seemingly becoming bored with looking at John, this strange creature casually walked out of the water on two large, bipedal, human-like canines before shaking itself dry and then walking off into the deep brush and into the forest. I've mentioned this numerous times before. Maine has, as far as I know, the oldest North American Dogman reports. We actually predate the good old Michigan Dogman by, well, let's just say a good enough time frame to be diving into what is occurring up in Maine. Did these strange creatures come down from Canada, terrorize Maine, cut back over through New York and Nova Scotia, then up into good old Toronto before coming down and swimming into Michigan and Wisconsin? We have numerous cases of these beasts in the water swimming past fishermen, tugging on lines, taking the fish off of people's lines. Again, this would not be the first time we have heard of swimming werewolves and dogmen. Also, recently up in Vancouver, we can watch evolution unfolding directly in front of our eyes. And these wolves have no longer had a consistent food source of salmon. They have decided to swim to new areas. Up to 60 miles they have been seen swimming in fresh water, as well as off in the bay. They found a new island full of deer and sea otters. Well, no longer are there deer or sea otters because these wolves, they went to town feasting on everything they could indulge themselves on. And they are once again back on the hunt. While you're out there in a kayak or boogie boarding, is it really too far fetched to think if you see an enormous wolf head pop up out of the water? Is it truly, really something supernatural? Or is it just a wolf? Who knows? This is something we really need to continuously dive into. I did tell you I had two cases tonight that we were going to be trying to figure out some of the madness. Well, are we ready for round two, my friends? We have 2024. This woman does not really want her exact location distributed to everybody. No worries. We are going to just let you know it is up in northern Maine. I've stated before, after you hit the mid part of Maine itself, the greater Portland area, everything tends to most likely turn into farmland and a ton of trees. It's mid afternoon. Yes, we have another day occurrence here. This woman's outside playing fetch with her family dog when all of a sudden her dog's ears just bolt up. Boom. She's not really sure what the deal is with her dog, who was just a second ago running around the yard having a ton of fun, wondering what had spooked her sidekick. The woman begins to look around her property, realizing, well, it is rather quiet right now. To her dismay, about 20 yards away, she sees what looks to be some sort of wolf or dog like creature with a 4-foot shoulder span. Yeah, that's pretty large right there. I'm 6'1", 165. That's pretty large. As she is trying to process what exactly she is looking at, suddenly, she realizes this is not a normal wild animal. We don't really have direct reports of wolves back in Maine. Yeah, as I stated before, animals always come back and reclaim lost territories. It's no different than the jaguars that recently came off from South America back into Arizona. Why? They were originally there. This stays within inside the memory of animals. And once they get a chance to reclaim something that was originally theirs, they're going to come back. There is no magic sign, all right, as you enter Maine from either Canada or other areas that states, hey, no wolves can't come past here. It's not like this wolf just, hey, look at this sign. Does that say Maine? Looks at the other wolf. Yeah, I think it says Maine. Guess we're not welcome here. And they turn around and walk off. It doesn't work like that. All right. She really could have been seeing a wolf, except when she says this thing just stands up. Now, as it stands up, her dog is out. Pooh! Just bolts towards the door. The woman doesn't even realize she's just frozen in terror, standing there for who knows how long, just locking eyes with this strange beast as this beast is continuously standing up. It begins to lean over as if it was an elderly person with horrible posture, casually turns around, walks off into the forest and out of sight. This is later afternoon, plenty of sunlight left. This woman is really cool, really awesome. No reason she wouldn't have seen what it is she thought she saw. It's quite apparent. If you do spend a lot of time in areas where there is a lot of wildlife, you will begin to notice some of the differences in wildlife. We are talking about modern day times. Most people understand what a wolf is, or it's an easy Google search to see the difference between a wolf, a coyote, or other canines. Yet in the past, sure, someone could have just immediately said dog-like creature, which there's many reasons for this. People call them dogman, some people call them werewolf, some people call them the wolf man. Most likely, there's a massive difference between shape-shifting in the European lore and what started off recently in the past century or so, just really getting a ton of quality information and reports. I do have a book I'm working on, as I said, which is where I'm able to gather a lot of the great research that I've been able to put in there and not just keep it upstairs, but now have it in a PDF file where I can pull it up, share it with great individuals such as yourself. I can also look back and compare things, share those analytics with my science team, the analysis. I am super big on nerding out with science and trying to be logical about things. As a journalist, you can't just necessarily plug it into one side. I find Dogman fascinating. I find cryptids, missing people, all of this stuff very fascinating. As I've said before, though, I've never had experiences like this with anything besides a few crazy individuals that were human based, which you can check out on my sister podcast, Camp Nightmare Fuel. Yet when it comes to this topic, I have a lot of people on my science team, great friends of mine in general, that have had occurrences with things they can't explain. With the science team, you have people that actually specialize in certain things, whether it's tracking, whether it's environmental aspects, whether it's working with animal behaviorisms, whether it's working with the psyche of humans, etc. We try to make sure we have individuals that specialize in certain aspects so that when I gather analytics and data, I can then share it with as much information as possible after running it through these different programs and just crunching the numbers. Hashtag nerding out. Nerding out is one of my favorite things to do. I love to learn. That's what I encourage to everyone every day is try to learn. There's so much quality information out there. Sure, there's also a bunch of shenanigans as well. No worries. Just filter through. Don't just go off of what LordeStarfox says. Go off by how you feel. Do your own research after. Make sure that you fact check everyone. It's okay. That's how you gather more information. That's how I gather more information is hearing it from excellent people, but then indulging and diving into the topic myself, spending time bouncing it all around, being subjective, objective, trying to figure out where these pieces fit in like a puzzle. And I encourage everyone to do the same thing. I will be covering a lot more of these Maine encounters just because I am a native to the Northeast. I find it fascinating. I'm also up here. I'm able to speak to a lot of individuals that, well, haven't really had a chance to share their encounters or stories with anybody. I got a chance to see the property of the Palmyra case that involved the Martins. Pretty gnarly. I've been able to go to different spots in southern Maine where there have been strange track patterns and interesting vocalizations. I've been able to speak to campers that had the same pretty much interaction that the Martin family had, except with their tent in the same area. It's amazing. I've been able to speak to so many great people up here, also up in Turner, where Monster Quest back in like 2005 covered the Turner beast. Great information, but from what I gathered up there, there's so much more going on than just this strange looking known canine that the local PD, once they found it unfortunately hit on the side of the road, said this is what everyone saw. Yeah, when I spoke to individuals up there, they spoke about things that definitely did not look like a common dog. They said it looked like something out of the Howling. One guy saw it trying to reach under his door, found a strange burrow on his property. It had attacked his Doberman Pinscher, that was his watchdog, and actually caused very traumatic damage to it, where the gentleman was no longer able to keep his dog. You have cases that involve people swearing as they sat outside on their porch that they saw this enormous bipedal canine like creature just walking across the field in front of them. This is so bizarre, but so interesting. It doesn't matter whether it's southern Maine, the middle parts of Maine, or the northern parts of Maine, there are sightings everywhere. When I was dating a girl up at the University of Maine, Orono, I was coming up from southern Maine. Literally, you're like, wow, if something happens right now, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Phone doesn't really work that great. Perfect timing though, because she knew the things I covered, things I found interesting. There were two students up there that also claimed down by the river near their dorms, they had seen something late at night. So not only did I get a chance to obviously hang out with my sidekick at that point in time, I got to go speak to those two other female students that had had this encounter up there. So gnarly. You literally go out of the dorm, and Orono is surrounded by forest. As you're heading out of the dorm here, you hit the trail, boom, you go right down to the river. I believe it's called the Sandy River. I could be incorrect. As they're down there, these two girls who enjoy just taking walks at night said with the moon illuminating everything, they saw as clear as day, even though it was nighttime, this strange canine-like creature standing there in the field, just casually looking up at the moon and walking off. No longer do these women go down there. Understandable. It seems pretty terrifying, and they were not really necessarily about pursuing whatever they had seen. You have some cases from Rumford, Oxford. The one in Oxford, this woman swears she sees something just squatted down on the neighbor's roof, legit looking in at her as she's watching TV. She gets up, goes and tells her husband, comes back. Obviously, the thing's not there. Straight up creepy as heck, though, because they have had numerous cases of something on their property just causing distress to them. All over Maine, people do lose pets. Yet, let's pump the brakes for a second. It doesn't have to be a cryptid. We do have these things called fishers up here that are straight up nightmare fuel, jet black, glowing eye, just like an enormous weasel or a mongoose. They're terrifying, which could easily take someone's dog or also someone's cat. If you look at these areas where some of the reports come in, and then you see people losing pets or losing livestock, it's really bizarre. You have to ask yourself what's going on here. My beautiful creatures of the night. Yes. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. This is something I'm going to try to do a little bit more, as previously stated. I'm going to try and cover some cases from Maine, deep diving into that. If you do have questions, hit them up in the good old comment section down below. Please like, comment, subscribe. Also check out the good old Midnight Lycanthropy and the Camp Nightmare Fuel merch in the good old store down below. Those are some of the best ways you can help support us creators on here, is by watching our ads. We actually place those ads there, and it really does help our channel grow. No pun intended, hitting that good old like button. Also, commenting, sharing it around, hyping that stuff up. You just want to get the algorithm rolling too. You want everyone to be like, whoa, wait a second. What's Lord Starfox putting out? What are they covering at Midnight Lycanthropy tonight or for the rest of the week? We have so much great stuff. I'm not going anywhere as long as everyone still loves what I'm creating, wants to keep on seeing this information come out, wants to keep on helping Midnight Lycanthropy grow. I do love every single one of you. If you're interested in being a guest on the show, please contact me. It's pretty easy to figure out how to get a hold of me. Leave a comment on a video, connect with me on any of my other social media platforms. Yeah, until then, though, please stay safe out there. Remember, knowledge is power. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to be incorrect about something. When you're incorrect and then you learn the proper information, you're now more powerful because you're no longer running on information that's not quality. You have really great information and you're able to build off of that, which is what we're really trying to do here at Midnight Lycanthropy, the Midnight Society Science Team, also the North American Dogman Project. You legit just need to be able to get that information out there, decipher it all, work with those great individuals. Let's keep on cranking this stuff out, my friends. I cannot wait to see you on the next one, and be good people.
My legendary creatures of the night. Ooh, I do adore every single one of you. And thank you for hanging out tonight. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the truth to the algorithm. And remember, monsters are much realer than anything you could ever imagine.